There is not just one kind of outflow. How many kinds are there? Broadly speaking, there are 84,000 outflows and 84,000 afflictions. Afflictions themselves are outflows. Do you enjoy being afflicted? That's an outflow. Where do outflows go? They flow out into the three realms: the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. All forms are called outflows. All thoughts of desire are outflows. If you like to eat good food, that is an outflow. If you like to listen to good sounds, that is an outflow. Liking to live in a nice house or to sleep in a luxurious bed is an outflow. So, how many are there? How many things can't you set aside? Outflows are like water pouring through a leaky bottle. No matter how much water you pour, it flows right through. With outflows, when you do acts of merit and virtue, the merit and virtue flow right out. You can't keep it. Human bodies are riddled with outflows. The eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and eliminatory orifices all flow with matter. The false thoughts in the mind are also outflows. There are simply too many of them. There are an inexhaustible number of them, even more than 84,000. All outflows refers to major shortcomings and minor forms. All of your peculiar, undesirable habits are outflows. To get even more basic, smoking, drinking, gambling, and chasing after women are all outflows. Chasing after men is an outflow too. Don't think it applies only to men. It works both ways. Women, in fact, have more outflows than men. Women have a monthly outflow. To be more explicit about it, when you cannot keep your semen, energy, and spirit in check, you have outflows. The biggest outflow occurs through the male and female reproductive organs as a function of sexual desire. There are many, many outflows. However, these arhats had exhausted all their outflows. Exhausted means that they had put them to an end. It does not mean that their outflows had flowed out until they were all gone. When you read the Sutras, you have to be careful to interpret these things correctly. They had no outflows. They did not flow out. It was not the case that all their outflows had flowed out. Fourth stage arhats have obtained the penetration of extinction of outflows, which is one of the 6 spiritual penetrations. Before one reaches the 4th stage of arhatship, one has not obtained the extinction of outflows. These 12,000 arhats had exhausted all outflows and had not the slightest fault. They were sages. Having no further afflictions, all of the great arhats had obtained the penetration of the extinction of outflows, and therefore had no further afflictions. And if they had not obtained that penetration, they would still have afflictions. Further means that they will never become afflicted again. They have done what they had to do and will undergo no further becoming. Because they have ended birth and death, they have no affliction. How many kinds of afflictions are there? In general, there are 84,000 kinds of affliction, but that is really too many to discuss, and so we will concentrate them into the term ignorance. Afflictions all arise from ignorance. There are 3 kinds of affliction which are also known as the 3 poisons. The 3 poisons cover over our Buddha natures. The reason from beginning this time until the present we have not realized Buddhahood is because of the 3 poisons. They poison us. So the point that drank we live and dreaming we die. We simply cannot return to the root, go back to the source, and return to our original phase. What are the 3 poisons? Number 1, greed. Number 2, hatred. Number 3, stupidity. Greed is insatiable. No matter what it is, you always want more and you want to appropriate everything for yourself. Everyone has his own greedy tendencies, and nations all have their own greedy inclinations. National leaders are greedy to annex neighboring nations, and individuals are greedy for wealth. They think one house is not enough, and so they buy two. Then two houses are not enough, so they buy a third. Three houses still don't satisfy them, and so they build a multi-storied mansion, all to keep up with the Joneses. I am the richest, they think. However, when the time comes, they can't buy off their own lives. No matter how rich they are, they can't bribe King Rama into letting them live forever. Greed is a deadly poison. It makes intelligent people muddled and sends good people down evil paths. Hatred is also difficult to change. One spark of anger burns down a forest of virtue. The firewood gathered in 1,000 days is burned up by a single spark. You may foster great merit and virtue, but as soon as you lose your temper, it all goes up in a blaze. What is meant by offerings to the triple jewel? If there is no hatred on your face, that is an offering to the triple jewel. To be pleasant and agreeable is just an offering to the Buddha. If you make offerings to the triple jewel but do so in anger, with your face are twisted up in rage. No matter how fine your offerings, they will not please the Buddha. With no words of anger, the mouth puts forth a wonderful fragrance. If you don't scold people, your mouth is very fragrant. The absence of hatred in the heart is a true jewel, but thoughts of anger are difficult to subdue. The Vajra Sutra talks about subduing the heart. This refers to subduing afflictions and false thinking. Although it is easy to be greedy or hateful, it is also easy to spot these afflictions as they arise. Stupidity, on the other hand, is deeply rooted and difficult to expose. Stupidity refers to being unclear about the principle, taking what is right as wrong and what is wrong as right, saying what is white is black and what is black is white. Stupid people continually have false thoughts such as, wouldn't it be nice if the flowers were always blooming? Now, flowers bloom and flowers fade, and that is the way of nature, but stupid people want them to be fresh every day. Why isn't the spring full moon all month long? They wonder and they get quite upset when they see it wane. People who like to gaze at the moon want the moon to always be full. Thieves have a different attitude. They find the full moon's light inconvenient for their nightly robberies and would much prefer to see no moon at all. Those who like to drink wine think, I have to have money in order to buy wine, but if all the rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans were filled with wine, wouldn't that be great? All I'd have to do is walk down to the river bank and take a drink. These are examples of stupid false thoughts. People who are greedy for money go to work to eat and feel that they are toiling bitterly. If all the trees had leaves of cash, they think all I'd have to do is pick money off the trees. All these things could simply never come to pass, but stupid people keep wishing for the impossible. Other examples of stupidity are those who have never been to school but want to get a doctorate, those who have not planted the fields but want to reap a harvest. Also, if you don't cultivate but want to become a Buddha, what is the height of stupidity? If you haven't even taken refuge with the triple jewel and still expect to become a Buddha, that's absurd. Everyone is poisoned by these three poisons. They turn us upside down, make us confused, and prevent our wisdom from manifesting. Well then, you ask, what is to be done? Do not give rise to thoughts of greed. Do not give rise to thoughts of anger. Do not give rise to thoughts of stupidity. Distinguish greed, hatred, and stupidity, and diligently cultivate precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. Speaking of morality, samadhi, and wisdom, what exactly are they? Morality. Morality means to stop evil and avoid error. This means to put an end to thoughts of greed. Thoughts of greed give rise to evil thoughts which are covetous of others' goods. How do thoughts of greed arise? They arise because one does not understand how to practice morality. Morality teaches you to be content, to be satisfied with what you have and not to long for others' valuables. One who upholds the moral precepts can bring thoughts of greed under control. Samadhi. One who lacks the power of samadhi will give rise to thoughts of hatred and will see everyone else as being in the wrong and everything as just not working right. When not doing that, one will see oneself as in the wrong and get angry at oneself to the point that one may even slap one's own cheek. Then, fearing the other cheek might get jealous, one will slap it too. The Chinese term for jealous literally means drinking vinegar. During the Qing dynasty, there was an emperor who had an official who was scared to death of his own wife. If he was late coming home, his wife made him kneel beside the bed. Kneeling to have an audience with the emperor was one thing, but kneeling before his own wife was really too much, and he had to remain kneeling until she gave him permission to rise. Since he was only on very good terms with the emperor, he finally confided in him. The emperor said, "Don't worry, I have a method which will cause your wife never to push you around again." Then he sent out an order calling the official's wife to the palace. The tigress presented herself before the emperor. "Why do you make your husband kneel beside the bed when he comes home late?" said the emperor. "That's not a proper thing to do. Besides, he hasn't been involved in any indiscreet affairs with other women, and even if he had, it is still not your place to oversee his business. If you reform your conduct and stop managing your husband, we'll forget the whole thing. If you continue to restrict his freedom, I will force you to drink this cup of poison. I will have you put to death. If it suits you to quit watching over your husband, you won't have to drink the poison. If you insist on watching over him, you will have to drink it and you will certainly die." The woman was amazingly bold. "Fine," she said, "I die right here and now." She took the cup and drank the content. Of course, it wasn't really poison, it was only vinegar. The emperor had only said it was poison to see whether she would dare to drink it. The woman was braver than he thought. She would rather have died than quit watching over her husband. So in China, they say drink vinegar when they wish to refer to a woman who keeps too close track of her husband. Luckily, it was only vinegar. It may have salted her stomach, but it didn't kill her. People with quick tempers will vent their anger on themselves if there is no one else around. They will even hit themselves. Why? Because they have no samadhi power. People who have samadhi will not become angry. Angry tempers will only blaze if one has no samadhi. Wisdom. Why are you stupid? Because you lack wisdom. All day your heart is preoccupied with false thoughts and gets no rest. You recognize nothing clearly. For people with wisdom, when something happens, they respond. When it's over, they are still. They take care of matters as they arise. When they are done, they set their hearts at rest. Their hearts are not the slaves of their bodies. If you lack wisdom, you are unable to control your body, because your mind is under its control and does its bidding. If you have genuine wisdom, then all matters are taken care of with razor-sharp intelligence. Students of the Buddha Dharma should be clear about all matters. Those who understand the Buddha Dharma have wisdom. Those who do not understand the Buddha Dharma are stupid. Wise people will not act stupidly, and stupid people are incapable of acting wisely. I now be perfectly frank and tell you the absolute truth. Stupidity is just wisdom. You may object, you are confusing me. If that's the case, why bother to strive for wisdom and get rid of stupidity? Don't take my statement on face value alone. I am saying that the basic substance of stupidity transforms into wisdom. It is not the case that wisdom is to be found apart from stupidity. Wisdom is found right within stupidity. It's simply a matter of your not being able to use it. When you are able to use it, it's wisdom. When unable to use it, it's stupidity. The same applies to samadhi. Samadhi is just anger, and anger is samadhi. If you truly wish to gain samadhi, you should know that it is to be transformed right out of your anger. Morality, too, is transformed from greed. Don't look for them outside, for they are all contained within your nature. If you are able to use them, they are morality, samadhi, and wisdom. If you are unable to use them, they remain greed, hatred, and stupidity. The wonderful is found right at this point, and this is also the point where you may not understand. Having attained self-benefit means that they have already arrived at the level of self-benefit. How have they arrived at this level? Previously, the text said, "Who had exhausted all our flows and had no further afflictions." Why are we unable to attain self-benefit? Because we are continually flow out, free from our flows and devoid of all afflictions. These are hearts that have themselves attained genuine benefit. What is the genuine benefit? It is true understanding, the attainment of genuine wisdom. People without wisdom have not obtained the genuine benefit. To obtain wisdom, to certify to the fruit of hardship, is called attaining self-benefit. Self-benefit also is just enlightening oneself. That is self-enlightenment. Enlighten oneself, one benefits oneself. If you are then able to take the doctrines which you yourself have become enlightened to and teach them to all living beings, that is called benefiting others, enlightening others. All the great arhats in the Dharma Flower Assembly were self-enlightened. However, they did not enlighten others. They only knew self-benefit, they did not benefit others, and so the text says, having attained self-benefit. They had exhausted the bonds of all existence, and their hearts had attained self-mastery. Exhausted means non-existent. What is non-existent? There are three realms of existence which further divide into 25 planes of existence. The three realms of existence are existence in the desire realm, existence in the form realm, existence in the formless realm. The 25 planes of existence include the 4 continents and the 4 evil destinies, which are as follows. The 4 continents: Purvavideha in the east, Jambudvipa in the south, Aparagodaniya in the west, Uttarakura in the north. The 4 evil destinies: the hells, the path of hungry ghosts, the path of animals, the path of asuras. That makes the 8 planes of existence. They become into existence through the creation of karma. especially evil karma. Add the 6 desired heavens and the Brahma heaven, and that makes 15 planes. Then come the heavens of the 4 dhyanas. Some people who don't understand the Buddha Dharma think arriving at the level of the 4th dhyana is an extraordinary accomplishment. Actually, it is still within the 25 planes of the 3 realms and is nothing special. The ultimate goal of cultivation is still far off. But a confused teacher may tell everyone that it is the highest level of attainment. For example, there was an unlearned bhikshu who mistook the 4th dhyana for the 4th fruit of arhatship. When he had exhausted the merit that had enabled him to dwell there and began to fall, he slandered the Buddha. The Buddha said that those who reach the 4th fruit do not undergo birth and death. How come I'm falling? Having slandered the Buddha, he fell eternally into the 4 evil destinies. The unlearned bhikshu did not fall alone. Several tens of thousands of his disciples also fell with him. So, as I have said repeatedly, one with confused understanding transmits confused understanding. In one transmission, 2 don't understand. When the teacher plummets into their hells, the disciples follow right along. The teacher asks his disciples, "What are you doing here? You came, so of course we followed you," is their reply. The teacher thinks, "How did I manage to bring my disciples to hell?" He himself doesn't know how it happened. The disciples are so fond of their teacher that they even follow him to hell. How pathetic. The 4 stations of emptiness are the station of boundless space, the station of boundless consciousness, the station of nothing whatever, and the station of neither perception nor non-perception. The 4 dhyanas of the 4 stations of emptiness are 8 planes of existence. Adding the no-thought heaven and the heavens of no return, counted as one, makes 10 planes. Those 10 planes plus the 15 planes above make 25 planes in all. The arhats present in the assembly had extinguished the bonds of all existence and transcended the 3 realms, the realm of design, the realm of form, and the formless realm. So it says, they had transcended the 3 realms and were not within the 5 elements. They had gained genuine liberation from birth and death. They had exhausted the bonds of all existence, and their hearts had attained self-mastery. The hearts of the great arhats then knew about this joy. Self-mastery is true happiness. There is nothing more comfortable or more joyful. So, Avalokiteshvara is called the Bodhisattva who contemplates with self-mastery, which means that the Bodhisattva sits in meditation and is always very happy, extremely comfortable, and knows not even the slightest trace of vexation. Self-mastery refers to having no further afflictions, having attained self-benefit, and having exhausted all the bonds of existence. In this state, the heart has obtained true freedom and genuine wisdom. One is therefore extremely happy. This kind of happiness is a true inner happiness. It is not an artificial emotional display of giggling and laughter. It's an inner happiness, not an outside one. Don't think that your laughing and joking is happiness. It's really just the upside down affliction. Why is it upside down? It shows that because you have no samadhi power, you are influenced by some situation that pleases you and you respond with laughter. There's no real happiness in that. That's just being upside down.